Fu fighting. Ba-ba-da-da-dum. Oh, hello and welcome back to another midnight showing. As always, I'm Kelly, and I just got out of Kung Fu Panda 3. Hoya! Skidoosh. Oh yeah, this movie was fun. Something I haven't been able to say to the movie for a while now. God, it feels so good to see not one but two good movies this week now, doesn't it? So yeah, non-spoiler version of this movie. It's action-packed, it's fun, it's funny, and by God, you have a bad guy who is literally Shao Kahn meets M. Bison. While wielding the blades of Kratos? Sorry, I was about to say Kronos. That didn't sound right. I think Kronos had a different weapon inside of God of War. I don't know, I haven't played God of War for a long time. But, it felt like an actual third sequence, a third film in this, and it definitely is a lot bigger than the other films. Hell, if you get a chance, see this movie in 3D, because the spirit world looked like it was built for 3D. Vast open space with just these skyscraper tall rock formations everywhere that are being thrown back and forth, these masters as they're duking it out with these big old massive chi magic special effects. It's just, it looked like it would have been a great ride in 3D. I wish I had seen it in 3D, but I can't say for sure on that one. But yeah, my only real problem with it is pacing. This movie is too fast for its own good, and it really needed to be about 20 minutes longer. That feels about right. If it was about 20 minutes longer or it was a full 2-hour movie, I think it would have been a better film. But, I mean, it feels so fast. The thing was an hour and 40 minutes. It felt like less than an hour in my theater. It kept me engaged the entire time, had me staring at the screen. The actual fight sequences are really, really goddamn impressive. And it actually is a progression from the other films, whereas the first film of Kung Fu Panda was about Po becoming a warrior. The second film was about him becoming a master. And then the third film, this one, is about him becoming a teacher. Which, yeah, I completely see this progression from start to finish. And it's rather impressive and enjoyable that they are doing this. Was this the best of the Kung Fu Panda movies? No, 2 was just better paced. And I felt that it had a little bit more dramatic weight. This one, not so much. It felt, as I said, it just felt rushed. If it had just slowed down and taken its time, it would have been a great movie. And I'm not just saying that because I like Kung Fu Panda or that I like Kung Fu movies. But I'm saying that from a fan who just thought that some things weren't given enough time. Especially Po learning chi. That was like giving no time whatsoever, and he's just suddenly a chi master by the end. That felt too far rushed. But now I'm dipping into the spoiler section. So yeah, my final verdict for those who don't want any spoilers, any other than what I've said, is go see it. It's worth watching in theaters at full price. Go see it in 3D because I want to know just how awesome that 3D was on the spirit world. I really do. For those who don't mind spoilers, let's go on with the spoiler section a little bit. The spoilers inside of this, oh my god. So the movie is pretty straightforward. A warrior named Kai breaks out of the spirit world after stealing the chi of all of the masters who had ascended to that plane. Ending with Master Oogway. Yes, Oogway actually comes back in this movie and has a significant role for 3 scenes. But yeah, he does come back, and after Kai steals his chi, he's able to amass enough power to break out of the spirit world and go back to the real world, I guess you could call it. Land of the living? Maybe? I don't know. Anyway, once he gets there, he realizes no one's heard of him. Everyone's heard of Oogway, but no one knows of General Kai, the man who supposedly fought at his side for years. So he makes it his own mission to bring down everything that Oogway had started, basically. Destroy the Valley of Peace, capture all of the other masters in all of China, and make them his own little minions. Because after he's captured them, he can actually release them because they have a little pendant of them trapped in jade. Which, this is the second movie, Kung Fu movie, I've seen on the America side where the evil power comes from jade. The other one being the Forbidden Kingdom with the Jade Emperor. What do you have against jade? I don't get it. But, yeah, he can release the masters that he's captured in these jade warriors who will fight for him. So, yeah, Po, who's basically protecting the valley now with everybody else. And there's nothing going on. There's nothing. So, his new master, Shifu, actually tries to pawn off his teaching job onto Po under the pretense of trying to get him into the teaching spirit, I guess you could call it. And that's basically the plot of the movie, is that he's trying to teach Po how to teach by not actually teaching him shit, by just forcing him to do whatever and let the Furious Five get their butts handed to him in training. Anyway, soon after, Poe's dad shows up, played by Bryan Cranston. Yes, Bryan Cranston in a movie where he doesn't instantly just get killed off and we follow somebody inferior, I guess you could call him. Because I'm so sick to death of that happening. I'm looking at you, Godzilla. But anyway, and he says that he can teach Po the secrets of being a Chi Master. So he ends up going with his dad to the Valley of Pandas. And yeah, Kai attacks, steals the Masters, and Po is literally the only one left who's able to fight because he wasn't there at the time. So he has to teach the Pandas how to fight. And you get the progression here because you start out from him being reluctant, you get him starting to understand, and then you get him to actually teaching them and utilizing what they already know to their advantage. One of the guys is like got this super awesome bear hug. It's like, oh, you did a good job with those bamboo sticks, cracking them in half. Gives him a rock. Try hugging this and doing the same thing. You know, a bunch of kids who are good at hacky sack. He starts giving them like dumplings filled with bombs and telling them to play hacky sack with that so they could kick those at the enemy. And you do get an actual plan, you get a progression. My problem is that the teaching stuff is pretty well handled, but the Chi Master, which is what he inevitably needs to beat Kai in the movie, is completely undercut for the sake of the rest of the film. I mean, when he finally fights Kai at the end, getting everyone else to attack his little minions because he's connected to them by stealing their chi, he keeps getting distracted and having visions of the other things being attacked, probably because he put them all out there except for Oogway. Oogway probably would have finished this in like 5 seconds, I'm just saying. But, yeah, the other masters are all having trouble fighting these new panda proteges who are fighting in styles that they're not really used to whatsoever, which I still kind of call bullshit. They're all kung fu masters. I think that they're not just going to sit there and let themselves get hit in the face by dumplings filled with firecrackers. Just saying. And I in no way believe that Poe's dad and his stepdad could take down Shifu at all. But yeah, that was another good thing about it. I'll get to the dads in a second. But yeah, the Chi Master side of things, he just suddenly becomes a Chi Master, and everyone in the village, after Po ends up taking Kai to the spirit realm, dragging him back to the spirit realm for the final showdown, they're just able to master their Chi so easily. It just doesn't... Oh, wait, he needs our help so we can be father and friends. And I don't get it. That's not what she is. I wish they'd gone more into the actual mythology of the Chi and this how it actually pertains to one's basically peaceful self, inner self, the actual spirituality of Chi. If they had actually gone into that and applied it a little bit more, I think that would have been better. I mean, they kind of did the same thing inside of Forbidden Kingdom, to draw back a conclusion when they're actually teaching the main character Nat how to do Kung Fu. In this, they don't really do that. They just suddenly have it, and then Po becomes a Chi master in the spirit world, and he makes a giant Chi dragon armor thing. It's like an outline of a dragon, and he can control it. Which I get. I really do get. I just wish that they had gone more in depth with this. They don't ever really go in depth with any of the Chi stuff. He's just suddenly a Chi master, and after he beats Kai, Uwe comes back, gives him a Chi master rod, and off to the real world again. We needed more with this whole Chi master thing. We just need more of a balance to show, yeah, this is a thing. Let's go and talk about this. Let's talk about what it means and whatnot. And it kind of leads to one of the problems. He gets dragged to the Kung Fu Panda place by his the Kung Fu Panda place. He gets dragged to the Panda Village by his dad, under the pretenses that he's going to learn the whole mastering Chi thing. And it's revealed nobody in the village knows about this at all. He only did this because he wanted to protect his son. He didn't want to lose his son again. Wouldn't a better angle have been that he was actually teaching Po everything they knew about it? The masters were gone, but the teachings they left weren't necessarily all gone. They knew that it had something to do with this relaxed attitude that all the pandas have. That it's about being one with yourself type thing. He was teaching him all of that, but he didn't. But even they hadn't been able to achieve the actual Chi stuff. And you actually see some progression with Po figuring out from the leftover teachings that he's already been given into utilizing them and realizing they knew the technique the whole time. They just weren't at peace with themselves yet. That kind of thing. If there's actually progression there, instead we get the stupid liar revealed storyline that I'm really, really goddamn surprised that no one has called it out for being just that. Ugh. I hate that storyline, just so you know. It's so overdone. When it's done right, it's okay. But here, I saw this coming from a mile away the second he said, I can teach you this technique. You just need to come back to the Panda Village with me. I was like, oh, okay, he doesn't know it. There's gonna be a fight. Oh, God. We're going to the liar revealed stuff again. Yeah. And not enough time was given to that. If the movie had been about 20 minutes longer to focus more on some of the Chi Master elements, I think this could have been the perfect Kung Fu Panda movie. Instead, I still think that Kung Fu Panda 2 was a lot better. I mean, where else are you going to see Po literally throw a cannonball back at a giant peacock with sword feathers? Oh man, these movies were awesome. I'm not saying this movie is bad by any stretch, but that just really, really, really annoyed me about this movie. But yeah, let's go into something else that's actually done very well. The dynamic between Poe's dad and his stepdad, the goose, which was probably the most perfect representation of the whole stepfather dynamic I have seen in a film. Which is actually kind of funny, because I just saw Daddy's Home like a month ago, and in that exact same movie had the same kind of setup. You have the stepdad who wants to be the part of the family, and then you have the regular dad coming back from the middle of nowhere. Surprising that a goose and a panda did it better than Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell. Just saying. These guys actually are shown kind of at odds. They're not trying to sabotage one another. Well, the goose dad is, but he's being so blatant with it that everybody's calling him on it. But once he gets to the Panda Village with Po, he starts to realize, yeah, Po needs this. It's for the betterment of Po. He's always going to be in his life, but his dad has every right to be a part of this life as well, and it's the best thing for Po. Which, yeah, I kind of like. Also, just one little side note. this just popped in my head. Naming your bad guy Kai when it's all about chi. For those who actually know anything about Taoist medicine and mythology, that's a pretty hilarious name to give to your bad guy. That pun is well appreciated. But I really did like the dynamic between the dads. They actually do show at odds and having to come together at the end to save their son and to help him defeat Kai. I just kind of... Yeah, I really don't have anything much else to say about it. It's funny. The action is amazing. The fucking spirit world would probably would have been amazing in 3D. I wish I had gone and seen it that. My only problem is I just wish it had been a little bit longer to really dive into some of this stuff. Yes, it's a kid's film. Oh, they're not going to get it. Come on. Give your kids some goddamn credit. And let them experience something where they could actually think and learn something. I'm just saying. It's not like shoving fucking mythos down their throat or a religion down their throat. It's learning about other cultures. Let them immerse themselves in it for a second. Let your kids have a second to enjoy more than just jumpy action, punch. Let them enjoy some proper meditation, some calm moments. Let them show exactly why we have chi. I'm just saying, it's okay to slow it down, take your time. And I just wish this movie had done that. As I said, it just felt really, really fast for what it was. But my final verdict on this is still going to be a must-see. Go see it immediately. You will not regret taking your kids to it. You will not regret you watching it. Much like all the other Kung Fu Pandas, it's a surprise that they could take something titled Kung Fu Panda with some of the worst trailers ever and make them amazing. But DreamWorks seems to have an innate ability about that. How to Train Your Dragon is another great example. Now we just hope that their marketing team doesn't keep taking it over with the Minions and Trolls and everything else they seem to come out with these days. But yeah, this was definitely a refreshing bit. I heard that this movie was originally supposed to come out in December of last year, but they realized Star Wars and they pushed it out this far so they'd have some financial profit off of it. Which I imagine there were a lot of movies that actually did that. Unfortunately, not many of them seem to want to come out in July. They save themselves for February. Speaking of February, next week is Deadpool. And that's it for me. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Did you see Kung Fu Panda 3? Tell me what you thought about it in the comments below, and maybe we'll get some healthy discussion going. And as always, if you like what you see, you want to see more, I do have annotations for my more recent videos at the bottom here. If you want to see my top 10 best and worst movies of the year list, I'll have those annotated on the sides over here. You want links to my channel or the new card system, I'll have those annotated and carded up here. And be sure to like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitch and on Twitter. I just barely started Twitter, although if you like me on Facebook, I did connect the account to my Twitter feed, so you should be getting all the information depending on which way you go on it. And yeah, that's it for me. And I guess I'll see you all next time. Were those moves not so freaking sweet at the very beginning? I know they weren't. Just humor me, please.